Hello and welcome to ABW Live. How are you, you happy gooners? In the spirit of Valentine's Day and the great Dylan Thomas, we have a poem to open the show. Roses are red, North London is too. I've had enough. I can't remember. I've had enough of this shit. What, Danny? What was it?
Roses are red, violets are blue. I've had enough of this. How about you?
It's that bad. I can't even remember that. Okay.
Oh dear.
Hello,
Dylan Thomas is spinning in his grave.
Dylan Thomas thinks I'm a git, and he's right. Right, let's look at the chat box. Grant Wilborn was first in the chat box, and he says, "What the duck?" Stephen Edwards is there, formerly Noza, Christian Andreasen, Stan the Man 450, Appy Sheck, Matt Roberts, Sam Greaves, K-Man 1867, and 235100, Payush Kapoor, Green PL, Green LP 84, sorry. Sure, there's so much happening. Gunner 93, Archie, DK Druid, Fred Flintstone, Thomas McClements is in there, Daryl Kane, Clayton Maddox is there. Hello, how are we all? Yeah, I know. It's not great, is it? In the words of the poet, what a bag of wank. But on the bright side, I've got two guests with me tonight, and they're both top men. First and foremost, it's Josh. Say hello, Josh.
Hello, Josh. I thought I was on mute, to be fair. Well, there was a little bit of a delay because this is working so well. We've come along with a plan, and then suddenly it's gone all to pot because we've turned up and the pitch is shit.
No comment. No comment. Josh, I got to be honest, Clayton Maddox has just smashed it in with a donation straight off the bat. $5, a Valentine's poem for the fellas. Arsenal are red, Chelsea are blue. Wow, that much stank like poo. Still love you and all the Arsenal. Well played, Clayton. That was a lot better than our effort. We're bloody rubbish, honestly. It's just, it's. Kelly Marr sums this up really well. I actually want to work. And on with me tonight, we have the main man, the button monkey, without whom nothing is possible. It's Danny, the GFP. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, John.
Oh, Jesus.
Hello, Jason Isaacs.
Oh, it's going to be one of those. How are you, pal? You all right?
I am very good. Moogie's been here all day. Would you believe I've had 6 hours sleep? I've been up since 3 o'clock. I thought I'd get myself ready, get myself limbered up and in the mood for the game. And then what happened? 90 minutes of shit. That's what happened. I'm not happy. Even my mum was sat there knitting, going, "Are you the red one?" I said, "Yes, mum." I said, "It's your fault I support Arsenal." She went, "They're not doing very well, are they?" And last week, she was talking to me about rugby. I had to tell her to shut up. "Oh, I like rugby," she said. "Did you watch it?"
Your mum's all right.
I nearly showed her the back of my hand when she asked me if I watched rugby. She'd have put me in a headlock and broke me.
And if she doesn't, I will. You disrespect your mother. She's lovely.
I know. She made me 2 coffees and tomato soup, so I can't complain.
Excellent.
Did you send her a card today, Jace?
No,
I think they've got a sleepover later.
Behave.
She did say, I won't be able to speak to you tomorrow. I'll be up on bricks.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
I'm losing the will to live. Unique 79 smashes in the donation, and he says, "Embarrassing, Jace. There are no excuses." Yeah,
that was at your poem, by the way, not the performance.
To be fair, it applies to both, in all honesty. Never mind. Let's get on with this. Josh, I'm coming to you first. Lineups, really strong lineup. For a team in BATE who hadn't played a competitive game in 2 months. Yes, people, they hadn't played a competitive game in 2 months. The pitch was like a bog. It was horrible, wasn't it? What would you think of the lineups and the pitch, mate?
I mean, the lineups were, you were like, oh, it's a decent team. It's probably the best that you could have picked out of that 22 that we took out. I think it was 22, might have been 18. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it was the best group that we could have picked from there. The only question was, how many are we going at the back? and how many we're going to deploy at the back. Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 4? Is it 5? I was kind of hoping it was 4, the way they laid it out, but yeah, it was 3, which, it just means one thing, which is we're just going to go down the left. It's going to be a ball into Iwobi, who's then going to play it to Kolasinac, who's then going to try and square it. And that's what we really kind of saw, I think, initially. The pitch didn't really help us either. I think the one difference we've seen from Wenger versus Emery is really a huge reticence from Emery to ever play the ball long and keep it constantly on the floor, which I think under that kind of circumstance on that pitch, you just can't do it. You've got to find another option. When Chelsea went to BATE, they only won 1-0 and they got it from a set play. And who did they have to score it? Giroud, big centre forward. We just didn't have anyone with any presence in the box at all. But yeah, Jess, I don't know what Danny thinks of the lineups as well.
I'll come to Danny in a second. Yvonne Okafor, is back with a donation. Welcome back, Yvonne. We've missed you. I hope you're well. And she says, what a pile of, something. What happened tonight? It was a pile of something, Yvonne. And we'll try to, give you our opinions on what happened tonight. But, it's peak dog shit football at the moment, people. It really is. Dan, your thoughts on that lineup on the pitch? What did you think of it?
Well, I think the pitch would be more suited to your favourite sport. It would have been quite good for even. In fact, if the Pirates would have been playing, they'd have asked for the game to be called off. It was an absolute disgrace. I doubt very much they really wanted to have it as a lovely flowing velvet arena of gloriousness like our pitch at Ashburton Grove is. So it's going to be hard to play. Steve was saying that he was talking to people that I think he said they might have been at the game, and they said behind the goal that we were trying to score in the first half was the worst. The ball was bobbling. You can see the ruts going all the way through the length of the field. Absolutely horrendous. And I know it's the middle of winter over there, and it is absolutely freezing, and you're not really going to get much sunlight because the shorter days over there like it is here, and they're was this the one that last time I said it was closer to the North Pole than we were? And it turns out
that was Ostersund's.
No, might have been.
We're playing in a different country, Danny, in Belarus.
Yeah, I know we're in Belarus, but looking on a globe, I thought Belarus was up high, and didn't someone go, actually, it's further down on the equator, closer to the equator than England is? Either way, it was cold and it was horrible, and there's not much could have been done about the pitch, but they made full advantage to that, didn't they? They're playing 9 at the back, and their formation of just defending, they had no intent to go out there and play the beautiful game. That stopped us from playing. And
they had no intention of playing the beautiful game.
Well, you two both missed the first 10 minutes. That's the best bit.
I know. I'm going to come to you in a second.
Okay.
First of all, Michael Harneman, he boshes in a donation, £5. Thank you, Michael. And he said, well, that's ruined my Valentine's Day. Lacazette should be embarrassed. Worst game in an Arsenal shirt. Hard to argue with that, pal. Hard to argue with that. Thank you, Michael. You're an absolute rock star. There was a gentleman called Ricky Singh in the chat box, and he is a Man United fan. And I just want to say, Ricky, we're sad. It's Valentine's Day. We're pathetic. We're doing this. That's how we roll. But you must be really sad because you're coming in here to troll us on Valentine's night. Mate, get the lube out or something. Do something with your life, okay? Because you're not very good at trolling, and this is the wrong place for you tonight. Take care, Ricky. You have a nice evening. Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry, Dan. I'm back to it. First 10 minutes of the game. I missed it. Josh missed it. There was a Xhaka yellow in there. We got a goal disallowed. Talk to me about it.
Yes, I was just thinking that I sprung it on you that I released all 252 banned accounts, and straight away we've had 2 accounts that have been banned tonight already. So, look, in the the current era of friendship and kindness that is social media, and that's how they pay us back. It's an absolute disgrace. But first minute, great low cross by Kolasinac from Mkhitaryan, and Mkhitaryan didn't control it properly and didn't do anything with it. Then we carried on doing more attacking, really pressing, everybody pushing up. I thought, this is going to be 4-5, 6-0. It's going to be like last time. I think we beat them 4-2 possibly. And then fourth minute, Mkhitaryan with another deep cross. Monreal and Cos were both up because, like I said, the entire team were pushing up. They both missed it. Monreal was probably the bigger culprit of the two. And then there was another one of our players that was closer to the far post when the ball came swooshing right in front of him. Like, I think it happened so quickly that he didn't see the ball coming in. He didn't even have time to stick a foot out for it. But that was another couple of chances. 8th minute, Xhaka booked, and then you think, oh, for God's sake, it was probably unnecessary. It looked like someone had run across the front of him, and then kind of that he put his arm up to brace himself and push them away. But also, you can't go doing that in a game like this and expect to get away with it. So, but he was saying, it's my first foul of the game, and depending on the teams and the referees, that you do expect quite a lot of that stuff to go. Plus, it wasn't an actual foul; he just had his arm on him. The bloke, I don't think the bloke went down. Bit unlucky. And then the next thing that I'm up to after that was just saying that they really look up for this. There's going to be goals. Everyone's happy, but after a little while, I started thinking, bloody hell, do they realise that Lacazette is only 5'9"? They are launching balls in. It was like Pinball Alley. It was crazy. The amount of times it was coming in, whether it was Kolasinac on the left, whether it was Ashley Maitland-Niles on the right. Mkhitaryan was getting down both wings and crossing in. And there's some 1-2s going on. Absolutely, the first 10 minutes of that game was, I wish I'd have had a power cut after the first 10 minutes. And then I'd have gone after as the game finished. What was the score? 6-7-0? No, we lost 1-0. I think they wore themselves. Like a small child when it's had too much sugar, it goes mental for 10 minutes and it falls asleep. That's the best analogy I can think for the game. But it looks so promising early on.
Well, yeah, that didn't last long, did it? Leon Khan comes in with a great little line here. He says, it's Valentine's Day and you can't even masturbate. That's awful.
Masturbate.
Yeah. Jamie Fitzgerald slashes in a donation. Thank you, Jamie. There's no message. I think he's too upset. I don't blame you, pal.
He's done that through tear-soddened eyelids. He couldn't get them clear long enough to type anything, poor bloke.
Tell me about it. Josh, after the first 10 minutes, we've still got a lot of pressure on them. But we can't do anything with it, can we? It's there's no penetration. It's a lot of possession. There's no killer ball. There's no runners entering the box. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you'd said beforehand what player were we going to miss the most that we'd left home out of the two kind of big names, I think a lot of people would have said, oh, Mesut Ozil. But I think we absolutely missed Aaron Ramsey and that kind of deep runner from midfield. When Torreira eventually came on, we got a little bit more of that. But we were seriously lacking any penetration, because even when we get the ball out to Kolasinac and he's looking to put the ball into Lacazette, he's got 4 or 5 players around him. There's no way we're going to get anything to him. And you kind of felt for the guy that he didn't have a great night. He was starved of service from not only our poor play creatively, but also you've got to give something to BATE as well. They were really well organised. And they made sure they didn't get the ball. We didn't get the ball to Lacazette. I'm sure we're going to go on to all of the chances he had in that first half, but the one where he gets called offside is key for me, because that's a situation where you think, world-class striker, you know how the offside trap works. You've gone past your man through the front. You've got to dip behind him again. He just never returns to that position. And I think we could have got a goal at that point. We really should have done. I think it was the biggest chance we squandered.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that in this is the one. No, I'm going to come to that in a second. Dan, Kolasinac puts a great cross in and comes to Lacazette and he heads over. He should have done better there, shouldn't he?
Well, he's not meant to be playing in the air, is he? I know he can score headers, and he has scored headers in the past, but that's not the kind of thing you expect from him. You either want him to run at the players run at the defence with the ball, or be given the ball in low. And admittedly, they at the beginning they were putting the ball in low, but like Josh was just saying, that they were so organised. It was 5 or 6, 7 men in that box the entire time. No one had any space to try and run with the ball, dribble with the ball. Couldn't even do 1-2s, because as soon as you had the ball, there was 2 or 3 players on you, and then every other player that was in the box anywhere near you, they had more players on those. It was just so hard for anybody to do anything that night. So you would have hoped that if you could play that a few more times and get that in that position a few more times for the same scenario, then maybe he might have scored. But I think it was a little bit too high for him. But a lot of the stuff was too high for him, or either too high or too low. It's just unlucky. But it just definitely wasn't his night, was it?
I got to be honest with you, Paul. I think he's a better player than that effort. He can head the ball. He's very good with his head.
It almost seemed as if like he decided to jump at the last second, that he didn't get the full height on it. Yeah,
and I'd agree with that. I think it's disappointing, because I think he's a better player than that. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. He's had a bad night at the office, and it happens, but it doesn't help us at the moment, does it? Nope. Josh, then you had BATE miss a chance. Ball, they counter on us. Ball's hitting. It's a bit strong. Kolasinac comes in and blocks it. They started to come into the game, didn't they?
Yeah, it was properly competitive that first half. I think I said to the kind of group that if you squint enough, it makes our performance look all right, because you think we're playing Villarreal. It was a better team that kind of came up against us, and it was. Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of weeks since I've seen Arsenal play. It was odd to kind of see this. It was like, okay, is this the level we're at now, that this game looks competitive? Spent more time watching. No, I was watching League One games instead. No, League One games. That's all I've seen. And it was like one of those. You're like, oh, this is great if you're a neutral, but not the standard that we should have been at, to let a team like this really get not on top of us, because I don't think they ever dominated for long periods of time, but to get really good clear-cut chances. Czech was struggling with the bobble on the ball as well, so if you were hitting long shots at him, they were potentials as well, because you get a dodgy bounce off there and you're completely wrong-footed. But for that particular chance, I think, Kolasinac did well getting over to block it, but otherwise I think he actually had a poor game defensively.
Yeah, well, yes, I'd agree with that. I don't think Emery's given him any defensive duties in that setup, has he? Dan. Guendouzi goes down very, very easily on the edge of their box and costs us a counter-attack. There's no way the referee's given him a free kick. He's tried to buy you one. They counter on us. They're giving them another chance to do that. And then a couple of minutes later, he puts a fantastic ball in. Guendouzi puts a fantastic ball in for Lacazette. It was really difficult for Lacazette to control it, and it kind of goes to the keeper. But that kind of sums up Guendouzi's night, doesn't it? Sometimes the very poor, and then sometimes the sublime.
Yeah, there was a couple of players that have the ones you expect to be doing a lot of running. You've got Gervinho 2.0, as Archie now calls him. He had a terrible game. He was full of running, and Guendouzi, you expect him to do it. But just look at that point where they nearly scored after 27 minutes, where they just kept running down the right wing, and Guendouzi was just going. It looked like he was like a rabbit in the headlights. He didn't know what to do, and he ended up just standing there. And then the bloke got a cross in, and then their striker nearly scored. I'm just looking at the telly now. They've got Giroud up front for Chelsea. Imagine if he'd have been up front for us tonight. That's the kind of stuff we were crying out for years under Wenger, is to have them putting in high balls in the middle of the box. We finally get them to do it. We've got nobody there. but Guendouzi, for me, Guendouzi gets away with absolutely everything that he does, because he's 19 and he must be a nightmare to play against and a nightmare to play with, because you don't know what he's going to do. And that for me makes him exciting. But he had a poor night tonight. And most of the team had a poor night tonight. But it's good to see that Kleb still doesn't pull his socks up, though. That's my highlight of the game.
That was nice to see, actually. Now, let's be fair on Guendouzi. He's 19, okay? Yeah. He's having his learning season in the Premier League. This was, I know this is Europa Cup, but that's always going to happen, where you have the hot nights and the cold ones. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. I mean, Josh, Malic then misses a chance on the counter. We were lucky to be still in the game at this point, weren't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I think part of that comes down to the kind of rawness and youngness of our midfield as well, that we just allowed these kind of attacks to come and really hit that back three that I know that back three has played even under Wenger together with Mustafi, Koscielny and Monreal, but even they just didn't look comfortable all night. And it was just odd to see that every single player just didn't really seem properly up for it. Or if they did, just nothing was coming off for them in the case of like Guendouzi, who, just for me, probably the poorest game I've seen him play in an Arsenal shirt. I mean, there's not many to go off, and we know he's only 19, but still, it was poor from everything we've seen from him.
Yeah, but when you've got 2 or 3 players around every single thing you try and do, this is the sort of games that you're going to learn a lot from. Learn that that it's going to be really hard to try and to play against a team that don't want to play. And when you are an attacking, fluid side like we are on our day, you're going to get more and more teams doing that, nullifying the game. And then at least he didn't get frustrated, which is it seems to have learnt that really early. Because when he first started playing for us, he was getting angry quite a lot. It was easy to wind up. Now he seems to be maturing, almost like a bloke who's been playing for years at this level when it's only been 8 months. Guendouzi can do no wrong for me. I mean, he may do some silly things, but like you were saying, Jace, it's his first year. It's a learning curve, and even if he still does it next year, he's still only 20. Just that bloke's got so much talent.
It's one of those. He was the more dominant partner between him and Xhaka tonight. He was the one driving the ball forward, as Unique 79 has pointed out. But the bottom line is all too often there was a lack of there's a lack of end product there, and he's at that age. But Dan, at this point, BATE have really come into the game. Okay, we have a total lack of understanding and execution in the final third. The pitch isn't helping. Let's be quite clear. We've got events where a Lacazette chance is well defended. Kolasinac has a header blocked. Nothing's really dropping our way, is it? Nothing's really dropping our way. We're getting frustrated.
Yeah, but you think the style of football that Emery wants us to play is passing out from the back, making long raking passes, decent accurate passes. I mean, I was watching at one point when Kolasinac was running out with the ball. He daren't let the ball go more than 2 or 3 foot in front of him because of the bobbles. And you think, well, if you're going to go and try and do a half decent, maybe even like a quarter of the length of the pitch, you boot the ball. You don't know if it's going to hit something and go out or go to another player. And quite a few times tonight, we did give the ball away. And I wasn't getting angry because you could just see the direction of the ball from when they kicked it to where it ended up. It wasn't really the player's fault. And then that severely hampers your ability to break open defences, because if you can't put a lovely through ball, like in the very last minute, they tried to put a through ball straight through to Aubameyang, and it went wobbly and went completely past him. And they just had that all night. And you've got to be thinking as a professional and you're good at passing, that if you can't ply your trade because of the tools that you're given as in the pitch, you're going to get more and more angry. And with just the whole thing was just never. I'm not worried. We're going to beat them in the second leg. They're going to come back and they're going to be playing on our snooker table of a pitch. We'll be pinging the ball all over the place and we're going to actually ruin them. I don't care what they do. They can play everybody at the back. They can play 9 goalkeepers if they want. They're not going to beat us again. But it's just so frustrating for some of those players. And I felt sorry for the away the fans that travelled out there. But it was nice to see that the Borisov had their own Arsenal supporting section of Arsenal fans. And the commentator said that quite a lot of the players are actually Arsenal fans because Hleb played for Arsenal and he's the best Belarusian player ever.
I didn't care.
How about this one? 38th minute. Some Belarusian porn star was seemingly lost in the crowd with a mirrored glasses and fake fur coat. That was the highlight that came for you and John. Did you see her?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I just didn't.
She had 8 coats of fake tan on. Jesus, it was wonderful.
Good
Poor
girl.
woman.
Good girl.
Mirrored glasses. Behave yourself, love.
I'm not saying a word. Josh, we get another chance. Kolasinac shoots wide. It's a good cross from Mustafi. Then a few minutes later, the BATE goal. Nacho gives away a free kick in the edge of the box. Did he need to give it away? I'm not sure, but it was a free kick, no ifs or buts. And really, it wasn't us putting good balls in from set pieces tonight, let's be honest. Really good set piece ball in, and Collars just not challenge him. Dragoon gets on the end of it. Good set piece goal, wasn't it?
Well, you know what makes it, a good ball look better, Jace, is when your forward makes a run, the defender doesn't track him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what makes it look good. And that's what happened. Was, the forward goes, oh, look, Klasnic, he's massive. Just takes 2 steps to his right. Klasnic goes, all right, mate, how's it going? He's gone over, all the way over there. Oh, shit, he's got his head on that. Oh, bollocks, it's gone in. What the hell is he doing? It's just irritating. I know he's got wonderful stats going forward, but the boy is not a defender. I think that's it now. We only have one left back at the club, and he's called Nacho Monreal. That's it. I've written him off now. That's it. He's a winger for me. Kolasinac.
Yeah, I agree. He works really well.
Yeah, he's great as a winger, but I wouldn't rely on him defensively. Not any more than I'd rely on Lichtsteiner, to be fair. But
there's a blast from the past, Lichtsteiner. Whatever happened to him?
He was looking chilly on the bench, wasn't he?
Oh dear, he's Swiss. He loved it. He was in there in his mankini. He was eating an ice cream.
Daddy. Back to the game. What did you think of the goal, Dan? What did you think of the goal?
I think I made this is almost to the point. Oh, we go 44 minutes. They float in a free kick. We had 2 players in front of him, and he just took a step back, jumped, and it went in. And then Kohler jumped. He had his head down and was facing away from the player. Now you're thinking, if we've got 6 players there and there's one bloke mingled in between our wall, and then if he just goes, I don't know what. You should be facing the bloke taking the free kick, Kohler, and the other person who was there. I think one of them may have been facing it. But Kohler just went, I'm not going to look. Oh, the ball's coming. Duck! No, you don't duck, you big ugly bastard. You stand there and get a ball in the face. Or you look at the bloke you're meant to be marking. And the one right next. Oh, no, you're a left winger now, aren't you? That's probably why he didn't do it. He's going to go and change his own Wikipedia to left back to left winger and then denounce all knowledge of how to defend, because that was absolutely shocking. Don't know what you think you're doing. I often think that as a manager, I'd want to go, right, you lot, you're going to go and watch the game. That pass there, that 10 seconds of play. Tell me what you were thinking then. I'd go, Kohler, what the hell were you thinking at that point? Why do you think you don't have to look at your man? Why do you think you can put your head down? Why aren't you facing where the ball's coming from? Have you got eyes in the back of your head? No, you don't. Turn the fuck around, watch the ball come over, and watch your man. That's why you've got 2 eyes, you swivel-eyed loon. That's what I'd have said to him. Then I'd have showed it in the back of my hand. And he'd have put me in a headlock and killed me, just like my mum does.
Fair enough. I mean, look, that was the first half. It was.
Oh, hold on, Jace. Russ Morgan. That elbow was the only thing Lacazette got on target all night. Take him out, son. And good night, everybody. We're done.
Russ Morgan just run the chat box. Well played. Jesus wept. I gotta be honest too. I mean, a lot of people talk about the corners. We will come on to that a little bit later, okay? Because I didn't know what the hell was going on. It was I couldn't get over the 3 at the back. There's Wobie's the only real creative guy in there. I know you got Mkhitaryan, but it was fucking pointless tonight. And it was just the link between midfield and attack was struggled. No runners. I just thought we lacked ambition. And I'm sorry, I'm putting that down to the manager. It absolutely lacked ambition. But on the bright side, Francis Jones-Smith. True fans are not laughing right now. Listen here, Francis Jones-Smith, or France Jones-Smith, I had to apologise. We do this after every game, okay? Stick your head up your ass and go fuck yourself. Don't come in here, okay? Don't you fucking dare come in here telling us what we are and what we aren't. If you don't like it, fuck off out and listen to somebody else. Arsehole. Fucking coming in here, giving it large, twat.
It's all right. I think the true fans kick off later, don't they? And put all their videos up after.
I think they do the 7 minute, the 7 minute fucking rage rant thing. We do the game, okay? And we're lucky enough to have people who come in here and contribute to it. Don't come in here being an arsehole. Prick. So in any case, it's that time again. It's that time again, my lovely, lovely chat box. How are we all? There's a like button there. There's a like button there.
Is there? Where?
Yeah, I know. It's on the screen. There's a like button.
No.
There's a like button there. Go tap that like button. Go on.
Don't caress it. Stroke it.
Be like BATE Borisov. Be like BATE Borisov. Be a winner. Be a winner. Go on, tap that like button. There's 347 of you watching here now, and there's a like button that needs to be tapped the shit out of, okay? John Welsh later on is going around to the boozer to catch the barmaid leaving after work. And do you know what he's going to do? He's going to do tappy tappy. That's what he's going to do. So come on, let's do it. Tap that like button. Get it over 120, please. There's enough of you there. Don't be like the Arsenal. Be like BATE Borisov. They can win. That's enough of that. Josh, the second half starts. We get a bit of early pressure. Again, zero end product. Lacazette gets a shot off at the keeper, straight at the keeper. There's lots of pressure. There's no penetration. It's just much of the same, isn't it?
Yeah. It was what we were missing kind of most of the game, was just something missing from deep. We're creating, the balls are coming out from deep and we're recycling it well, but you would like to see in someone like, well, just Guendouzi probably, because Xhaka's, not going to be tearing into the box, but someone to come in and support Lacazette. Or if it's, Mkhitaryan coming in behind Lacazette as we're bringing it to Kolasinac on that side and Iwobi doing the opposite when Maitland-Niles was tearing up the pitch. We just weren't giving enough support in that centre of the park. And it showed. That's what we were missing. I don't think you put in, say, Mesut Ozil into this side and we got a different result because the runs still weren't there. Mesut doesn't create runs.
No, I think you're right there. You saw both flanks overloaded with people. You saw very little support coming up the middle, and you're seeing, Lacazette on his own there. We're going to give a couple of shout outs here. Who was there? Carl Thomas just woke up in Melbourne. Best morning show ever. That's right, Carl. You're not like that Jones Smith or whatever the twat's name is, giving it large. You're coming in here and you're being part of it. Well played. And who's from Stockholm? Who is from Stockholm? Jeez, I've lost him now. No. There's a geezer. You said hello to him.
I did say hello to him. Yes, indeed. Did you see the 3-game ban for violent conduct? Omar, OMHAZ from Stockholm.
Yeah. Omar, welcome. Say hello to Stockholm for me. Sam Ruth has just piled in with the donation. Tappy Tammy. He says, tappy, penetrate that like button, unlike Arsenal's offence today. Well done, Sam. You're an absolute legend, fella. Drew's in there as well. Hiya, Drew. You all right, pal? I hope you're doing well. So on to the next thing. Then, Dan, Josh has already mentioned it. The Lacazette offside goal. He's got to stay onside there, hasn't he?
I'm just thinking through when that happened. Oh, that was so close. It was only possibly his foot that was slightly offside.
He was well offside, mate. He was well offside.
I was watching the BT of it. The Chavs have scored. The BT one, and I was quite annoyed at the rate that BT were showing their replays. They weren't slowing it down quite. Oh, Jackosaurus. Oh, the man from Twitch has just given us $10. Jackosaurus is on Twitch, people, if you want to go and watch him. Yeah, he's a fellow Twitch person.
Jackosaurus, you're a legend. I follow Jackosaurus on Twitter. He's a top follow. I didn't say, we'll twat them at our place. I'm not worried at all. You're right, Jackosaurus. But tonight was painful.
Yeah,
Go on, Dan, carry on.
I was saying BT Sport, when I see a replay, like Formula One, they have magnificent replays on Sky F1 because I think what they do, they use the technology and they take out every other frame or something like that. So it doesn't blur and it's still getting really good replays. BT would go, replay. I'm waving my hands in front of the camera like a Bruce Lee on speed. Replay, all over the place. I'm thinking, no, what I want to do, I want to see a really, really slow replay of the goals, of the offside, of when people missed shots. They weren't doing it. I mean, it's right after with Stuart Robson's commentary as well. He was being a bit of a tip. But that's why I wasn't sure. But you would think, because the ball came in from the left-hand side, didn't it? Someone made a run and then he made a run to intercept the ball when they put it through to him. Because I wasn't sure whether it was when it was passed out wide left, whether that was offside. And when you saw the replay, I gathered it was Lacazette, but I didn't see enough of it. But you would hope that with being the world-class striker that he is, and definitely is on his day, today wasn't really his day for it, but yeah, you would have hoped. But I think he's going to be frustrated because you would expect better from him. And before the game, you'd have thought if Lacazette was playing this, and we got some decent players, and we got Gervinho 2.0 and a few of the others, and Mkhitaryan back, that there's going to be goals in the game. So he's probably going to be frustrated, which probably sums up why he did what he did at the end, because he was just getting angry. And at least he shows a little bit of passion, innit?
We'll come on to that later. Josh, you mentioned this offside goal earlier on. Talk me through it. I just think, he's not concentrating. He's gone too early. Maybe it's frustration that's led him to go too early, but he's a better player than that, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's like a schoolboy error. It's worse than being onside and putting that wide, basically, because it's such a simple opportunity. You can see it coming. The only thing that I can perhaps say to him is, one of the centre backs behind him, he's taking an assumption that they're playing him onside. But, he should know better than that. That he's still got the run on his man. He knows he's quick enough. He knows he can get there if the ball's good enough. And I think because of the amount of chances that we actually created, it cost us any chance of getting something out of this game.
I'm going to be interested. Dan, find out how many shots on goal we had.
15.
On goal?
Oh, on goal.
On target?
On target, we had 2. So at goal... Iwobi, Gervinho Mark 2 had 4, Torreira 1, Mustafi 2, Mkhitaryan 2, Lacazette 2, Kolasinac 4, Maitland-Niles 1, and actually on target, the 2 that had on target, 1 was Lacazette and 1 was Mkhitaryan.
That says it all, doesn't it?
And we had 76% possession, which I know doesn't mean much in modern day football, but wow.
Yeah. Dan, then we get check saving from Stavejevic or I can't spell their names and I can't read my handwriting. So apologies, chat box, but I'm going to keep on gibbering out these names. And apologies to my Belarusian friends. But Dan, the warning signs are there. They are ready to counter us. They're ready to have a go at us at any time, aren't they?
Yeah, they're although they haven't played a game for 2 months and 1 day. They were definitely well drilled. You don't always need, I suppose, match fitness if you've got a plan and you stick to that plan no matter what. And they had the pitch on their side and they had the weather on their side, and it worked out really well for them. Carl's in the chat box.
Is he?
It is.
How are you, fella? You all right? Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Yeah, where were you tonight then, Carl? Where were you?
He wasn't on time, was he?
No, Kyle.
Oh, Kyle.
Scottish Kyle.
Oh, sorry. Hiya, Kyle. You okay, pal? Kyle was in last week as well.
Was he?
It's good to have Kyle back. Yeah,
it's really good to have Kyle back.
Yeah. I know. You were missing an action, fella. Josh, my next note is dog shit delivery from corners every single time.
Is that a note from this game or the season?
That's a season summary.
Okay. Everyone, yeah. Comedian.
Yeah, I don't know why we even bother. I think we should give them a goal kick, to be fair, and just be done with it. At least it won't counter on us. But yeah, you just kind of look at it.
Pick it up and just hand it to the keeper. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. And we'll just drop back up. Save that. When you look at the players we've got, there's not one man that you think he's going to win a header. Not one. And if he would, you wouldn't trust him to put it on target, would you?
Do you know what gets me again? Is when they do the short corners then, and they turn the ball over within 3 passes again.
Well, you know why we do that, Jace? Is to make sure the centre-backs that came up have got enough time to track back before we turn over possession.
Do you know what, I was watching it, and initially I was so annoyed. Okay, I thought, fuck's sakes, I know the pitch is horrible. I know that it's tough out there. The weather conditions aren't good, but you're better players than this. And by the end, I was just thinking, no, you're not really, are you? You're not better than this. This is your fucking level. That's what I was thinking. And whenever the camera panned onto Unai, I was thinking, stop being a negative twat. play some positive football, please, because I'm just done with it. But yeah, the corners are an absolute disgrace tonight. Dan, then to be fair to Unai, he gets positive. Maitland-Niles gets replaced by Aubameyang. Xhaka comes off for Torreira. Did we switch to a back four or didn't we? It seemed as if we did. But who knows the Kolasinac anyway? I don't know where he plays anymore.
I put 52 minutes board, 55 minutes, Lacazette scores offside. 57 minutes, I see Hleb still hasn't pulled his socks up. 63 minutes board. Then I put subs on, don't care, and that's when I stopped making notes and I started talking to my mum about knitting because it was far more interesting. I don't know if we went to 4 at the back. It was whatever time we did that at. It was about half an hour, well, 3/4 of an hour too late. And I did remember thinking, hold on, if we need a goal, as much as we love Torreira, why bring him on? It would have taken more. I mean, I thought Maitland-Niles was having a quite good game playing down the right. You're definitely going to get lots of productivity out of him. Bring on another striker. Play Lacazette and Aubameyang up front. If you want to take off anybody in the midfield, like he did, take off Xhaka, but bring on someone more attacking. So you're just thinking, what is the plan? I was talking to Drew during the game, and I was saying to Drew, why on Twitter, I was saying, why hasn't he brought Suarez on? He said, well, Suarez isn't better than any of the players we got at the moment. And I said, well, he played one wing when he was on loan at Sevilla. He played on the other wing for Barcelona. He can also play on the middle. And then Drew said, yeah, but he's not better than anything we've got. And I thought, that's probably why he's not playing. We don't need him. So that's probably why he's only played 3 sub appearances. So, that's a little bit annoying. But we didn't really have much to pick from on the bench, did we? You're not going to bring on Lichtstein or El Neni or Leno. Well, again, Leno, you could have played him at the back. He'd have been a better job than some of them. But I think we needed to make those attacking. Well, personally, I think we played the wrong formation right from the start. We should have just gone all out attack. Aubameyang should have started. Torreira should have started over someone like Xhaka. Just have one defending the back two, and then just play 4, 5. However many up front that leaves, because I can't count. But disappointing that it took them so long to bring Aubameyang on. And when they didn't do anything, did it?
Yeah, you're not packing that box. So, to be fair, I thought Stuart Robson had a point. Get in the box.
Don't you ever say that? How dare you?
I know. I despise the man. Okay, I can't stand him. Sometimes I watch the game on silent rather than listen to him. Okay, but it's just it's just one of those things. Christopher Leach says, will this mediocrity ever end? Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about the Arsenal form or us. Either way, he may have a point. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things, it is. Josh, one of the BATE subs then comes on and going up for a header, takes Cos out with a cheap shot. It was a nasty, horrible challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't great. It's one of those that kind of when you're both going up for it, almost not rules go out the window, but the odd elbow is kind of seen as, oh yeah, he was using that just to get some leverage on, and things get into limbs go flying, and I don't know. I just didn't think it was a great. I was it's a yellow, but then what comes along later, perhaps would say, oh, that could have been a red in retrospect.
Sorry, somebody's put the same old Arsenal's put a rhyme in the box. I am not reading that out. I'm not. It's quite funny, to be fair. Kolasinac shoots across goal. Then we bring he'd been lucky. Shame he didn't get on targets. We bring Suarez on for Kolasinac then. Collar's game was a bit strange, wasn't it? He could have done something for it, but I don't know. It was, again, the whole team had one of those nights, but it didn't kind of work out for him, did it? Dan?
Oh, who are you talking to? Oh, no, I was just looking at Muslim RC Racer's YouTube channel because he's got radio controlled cars and I like them. Sorry, he's got one that does 49 miles an hour.
Do you know what? We were talking about this in the pod. We're talking about this in the podcast this week. Whenever you pod with Danny, okay, either the cat's walking across the keyboard or he's talking about something that happened in God Manchester that day. Now he's watching a different YouTube challenge. Why is he podcasting? I give up.
Oh, I'm going to get my tooth done in the summer, so I'll be back on full form. If that tooth missing, it means my brain is elsewhere. What was the question you asked me? And I'll do my very best to answer it, dear.
Kolasinac had a difficult day at the office, didn't he?
Yeah, but it depends what you want from him, because he is, when he played in Germany, as we all know, he was player of the season. I mean, he was in the team of the season, and he was playing left wing back. And now we're not really asking him to be left wing back tonight, were we? He was more of like a left midfielder, even at times like a left forward, getting up there and getting stuff in. And his tracking back isn't that good. And so I often wonder, what does Emery say to him? He's saying, look, you're going to play a wing back, but you've got to do the defending, or you're going to have a free roll down that left hand side. Do what you want, because we've got 3 centre backs, and when you go wandering, everyone's going to shift over a position. Or whether he's saying, well, I want you to put the crosses in. But it's just baffling. And I think he was one of our best players tonight.
It was such a mixed bag from everyone. I don't even know what to say about it all, to be honest with you. Josh, my next notes are: can't create a chance, more set piece shit, and then Czech saves a great cross from a counter attack. Czech didn't have a massive amount to do, did he? But he did okay.
Yeah, he was a bit nervous over a couple of shots when they came in, but I think we're going to put that down to the bobble, really, and the fact that when did Czech last play a game? Not really. It's been a while, hasn't it?
1994.
I mean, a good game. Yeah, 94. Not in an Arsenal shirt.
Would it have been in the FA Cup?
Yeah, we got knocked out of that a while ago, didn't we?
Man United
feels like a while ago.
I'm just going to go and have a look, see if it was against Man United. Yeah, Man United. That's he played in that one. I think that was possibly his last game. He did look a bit rusty, didn't he? I mean, at his age,
he looked
36.
Looked
yeah.
And he's asked to potentially have to react quite quickly because the ball was erratic at best. I think he was just having a mentally difficult game for him. So yeah, he probably relished the fact that a ball was in the air, so he knew it wasn't going to bobble around.
That pitch was horrendous. There are cows fields in Wales which have a nicer finish than that.
You would think that someone like Lacazette and Guendouzi, who are used to playing in farmers' leagues, would know how to play on a ploughed field.
Well, talking to Lacazette, we come to the point in the game where he finally gets a shot on target.
Yes.
But it's his elbow in Filipovic's face. Now, he was fouled, but it was a bloody stupid reaction, wasn't it, Josh?
Yeah,
Josh.
Yes, Chase? That's all right.
Yeah.
I really quickly got myself off mute there. Nobody noticed. Daniel cut that in the edit. Only 300 people that are looking. Like, guys, if you heard or saw that, put a like in the box. That's all I'm saying. Because that didn't happen. Yeah, I think it was indiscipline at like the highest level, to be honest. You couldn't really forgive it, could you? Because they're like, mate, just, you're a professional footballer. At least punch him in the stomach. Because not an elbow. That's only a yellow punch in the stomach. Unless you're Joe Barton, of course.
Oh, Jesus. Dan. Yeah. I hate to say this, but bring some sense to this conversation, please. Talk me through this red card.
Just frustrated, isn't he? The bloke's got hold of him, and then he's, I think he's gone to shrug him off and thought, fuck it, I'm halfway there. I might as well elbow him and make this game memorable for one thing. But he's, the Robots Will Eat You were saying that's a 3-match ban because it's violent conduct. You're thinking, well, bloody hell. We've been saying all season, what are we ever going to do if one of those two got injured? Because that means we're down to one striker. Because as much as we all like Eddie, Eddie should be out on loan somewhere now. Welbeck isn't going to be back. We've got no one else who can really play out there. Over to you, Aubameyang. You're going to be playing the next 3, the rest of the second game in this group, and then the next 2, the second game in this leg, and the next 2 in the next round, because we will get through to the next round. But that might not really be a bad thing, because I think when Aubameyang plays up front, it definitely gives us more options, because he's taller, he's quicker, not necessarily as much as a deadly striker. I mean, they're both fantastic, and it is hard to pick what's best from one of the two of them, which is why I like to play the pair of them and give him Aubameyang the free role and let him roam around and do whatever he wants, much like Henry used to do. But it's just shows the frustration of the bloke all night. He's like you were saying earlier, he's been caught offside. He had another goal disallowed. And it's just been a really hard night for him because as a striker, of every single thing you try and do, you've got 2 or 3 men on you. You can't header the ball in, you can't run with the ball, you can't do 1-2s, you can't pass the ball too far because it's gonna end up stuck in the mud. It looks like the trenches in World War One. It's yeah, so that's his first ever red card as well. I think the commentator said.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I mean, I can understand him getting frustrated. Total lack of support up the middle.
There's no through balls either, was there? And that's what he relies on, through balls. And then once he gets the ball, then running with the ball. But he wasn't just getting nothing all night. Poor bloke. I'm not angry with him. I'm just disappointed.
Nice, well done. Nice play. Nice. Josh. Then we see Torreira. I mean, it was a stupid. It's so stupid. He takes a shot from like 30 yards out, flies over the goal. Just more frustration, utterly rubbish. Guendouzi takes a shot outside of the box. At least the goalkeeper saves it. It's on target. But that's kind of the game. And it was an absolute load of bollocks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't good at all, to be honest. And, Torreira's coming on. He's trying to do something with this game. And, he's been sitting on the bench going, well, we can't get through this defence. Now, it's not the passing that's the problem. It's the lack of runners. So, yeah, the only option is to have a pop from 30 yards. If he puts it on target, he's worrying the goalkeeper. But, it was kind of, it's kind of stat padding, wasn't it, really, at the point of getting, a shot on target in the 80th, 90th minute that is our second shot on target all game. It's an awful, awful, awful attacking performance that we put in there. And we just didn't have any fluidity at all. Yeah. I think there's a number of reasons for it. We just looked slow. Even when Suarez comes on, for a bit, we look better. For a bit. No, but this is relative, right?
Yeah, but this is the problem. If you go back to the Huddersfield game, if you go back to the Cardiff game, if you go back to the Fulham game, okay, where he's played 3 at the back against less talented teams, this kind of performance comes out consistently. So he should know what he's going to get. Okay, you're not supporting the striker, you're overloading the flanks, okay, and there's not enough coming up the middle, right? And you're asking an awful lot of the 2 midfielders when they get largely outnumbered to sort of to win that midfield battle. I know we won it tonight, but they weren't even sort of taking part in that. But then they were breaking on us consistently, and he's seen this happen time and time again, and yet he's sticking with it. And I find it really fucking negative, and I'm kind of getting sick of watching dog shit football. So,
is there a question in that, Jace?
Yeah, I want you. I want you to defend Emery off that, please.
Oh, bloody hell! Defending Emery. Cheers. Throw the lamb to the slaughter. Right, let's try this. I think the guy's only been with us for 7 months.
Yeah,
I know he had a wonderful dossier, but football's not played on paper, is it?
No, it's not.
It's played on dog shit pitches. Or not today. That's the only thing I've got from at the moment is the fact that, we've seen it before, that if you don't put faith in your managers, you're just going to end up in this negative cycle of chopping and changing, never really getting anywhere with it. Is Emery the man? It's that kind of thing. Do we cut our losses? What's available out there to us? I mean, there's a manager that's wanted, by all the big clubs. Gone 49 games unbeaten. He's doing wonders. Wonders for a club like ours. But that's not necessarily the solution.
No.
I think, we did say before, there were people that were slating this squad beforehand and saying Emery's got to do stuff. When they were supporting the manager when he first came in, they were slating the squad. Now, suddenly, this squad is good enough for them. And it's the manager that's now the problem. Get some consistency with what your problem is. It's going to be both. I think we've got a double issue here. We do have an issue with our defence. It turns out our defence that we knew was rubbish, turns out it can't be coached either. We can't even coach it to be good. So we've got... Go on, Danny.
I was going to say we've got a Borisov fan in there. I think his name is Alexei. He says, "Well done, guys. Hello from Belarus. Can't wait for the second game." Well, hello.
Ah, Alexei. Hello.
I think that's it. I use Google Translate to translate his name, and it says it's Alexei.
Welcome to ABW, Alexei. Congratulations tonight. This is painful for us, but congratulations to you, pal. Thanks for being part of it. Dan, your thoughts, because you're more positive than I am at the moment. Give me your thoughts on this.
On what, the game tonight, or the general situation?
The game tonight. Let's stick to the game tonight.
Well, just so many things went wrong. Like Craig is in there from the Same Old Arsenal podcast. Go and give that a follow, people. It's one of my favourite podcasts. Craig and the lead judges are on there, and a few others. It's really, really good. So many things went wrong, didn't it? He picked the wrong formation. They stuck to their plan. The pitch wasn't good. We missed the chances we had. If we'd have put away a couple of those chances in the first 10 minutes, we wouldn't be talking about a loss. It doesn't matter. Second leg, we're going to beat them. Just move on. And this time, I don't think it was down to injuries. It was all just down to playing the wrong formation. It is a bit concerning that at the weekend against Huddersfield, who you've scored more Premier League goals this season than Huddersfield have, and he still plays 5 at the back. I know it's wing backs, but it still counts as 5 at the back. He is being far too defensive, and I don't know why. Some of the wonderful, beautiful, attacking, flowing football we played at the beginning part of the season, he seems to have abandoned it, and I don't know why. Much like with the Ozil situation, nobody knows why. And we all expected Ozil to play tonight, didn't we?
Well, the Ozil situation is getting really frustrating, and it doesn't look good. I know they were talking on the commentary. Apparently, there was a tweet earlier on. No, I don't know what's going on, but this thing, for me, a manager has to get the best out of the players. I get that he has to show. I get that Unai actually has to show that he's the man in charge as well. He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't at times, isn't he?
Doesn't make you wonder. What do you think? Why do you think things seem to be going wrong? Not an alarming rate, but you'd have thought this far into the season his plan would be coming together. It doesn't. It seems to be fraying at the edges, which isn't good, is it?
I just think I got to be honest. I just think it's negative. Okay, I just think he's I've mentioned the Cardiff game, the Fulham game, etc. There's negative setups there. Okay, I think you have to be ambitious in sport. I keep on mentioning this. Okay, you have to be ambitious. We have to go out and try to win the game. That's what these players are all about. The guys that we've got. Yeah, okay. People may not like certain players. Okay, and people may not agree that so-and-so should be in the team or whatever, but we've played some really nice stuff this season going forward at times. And then we haven't repeated it. We haven't tried to repeat it. We haven't tried to replicate good form. We've gone back to kind of negative setups. And I hope to God Unai sort of gets it together and pulls it all together, because as much as I can see him going in the summer, I don't want that to happen. I think you get into, as Josh mentioned, you get into a negative sort of spiral with sacking managers all the time. But he has to show some ambition in his team selection. If your creative players are out wide all the time and there's nothing coming up the centre of the park, well, guess what? That's not hard to bloody defend, is it? It's not hard to defend, so people can set up for it. So he just needs to vary his tactics and pull himself together.
I mean, our points tally isn't that bad, though, is it? It's better than where it was last season.
And that's a fair comment, and that's a factual comment you're making there. You are correct.
Sorry, makes a change.
Yeah, go and chuck yourself in the river, Josh. This will never happen again.
Yeah, sorry. I'll go and have a cold shower. That's fine.
No, but you can't argue that, can you? We have scored goals, but I mean, I don't know. We can all see it. There's obviously something amiss there, and I just hope he can find the right players and the right setup for him to sort of go forward, because we do this after every game, and some of the games this season have been absolutely painful to watch. When you get 3 points, you can excuse it. When you lose to BATE Borisov, it's a bit more difficult, isn't it?
But well done to them. They had a plan. They stuck to it. They got their result. but I don't think they had enough to worry us in the home leg.
No. You know, if we don't win that 3 or 4-0, there is a problem. There really is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea took them back to their place and beat them 3-1 after only scraping a 1-0 win. So there's still
this season.
This season in the groups. They had them in the groups, and that wasn't the throwaway games. That was game day 3 and 4.
The important ones, where you don't play reserves.
Yeah, that one.
Look,
it was a full strength side they put out. To be fair,
the problem I got is that side we put out tonight should have been good enough to beat that BATE team. You know, people can accuse me of being negative. Maybe I am. Okay.
It was good enough not to lose, Jace. I'll agree with you there. It was good enough not to lose. What we've seen from them this season is it could be a difficult place to win.
That's fair enough.
If we completely take out the fact that Kolasinac doesn't know how to mark from a corner out of it, they do nothing else to affect our goal. We finish 0-0, and we're still as frustrated, but it's 0-0.
Yeah. And fair comment. Should we go some questions, guys?
Yeah. Before we go to the questions, just Craig Scott from Same Old Arsenal to saying in there that he's much like me. He doesn't really think there's much of a problem at the moment. Do you two think it's just a temporary thing? And do you still want Emery at the club? I know none of us are 14s. None of us say we want him sacked, but I'm perfectly happy. Like Craig puts, we're only 1 point away from the top 4.
It's hard to argue with that, okay? It is hard to argue with that. But for me, watching some of the football we've played, I'm not happy at the moment. I think with the players we have available in our squad, we should be playing better football and being more ambitious. I respect the opinion of what you're both saying. It's hard to argue with the fact that we are 1 point off top 4. It's there. That's the table. I think the big thing for Unai is if he finishes top 4 or wins Europa Cup, he's a success because we get Champions League football next season.
And that's when we'll get a whole load more money than the alleged that no one knows 45 million. If the club had 45 million, the last person they would tell is anybody outside the club.
We'll come to that later. There's a question on. Okay. We'll come to that later. But Josh, your opinion on that bit?
I would be inclined to agree with Danny and and Craig. The question I'd have back to you, Jace, is if we were playing good football, but we were lurking around 8th or 7th because we weren't picking up the points, would you be more okay with that or the fact that we're playing badly and we're still racking up points?
If we were playing for good football and we were in 8th or 9th, there really is something wrong, and I would be calling for him to be sacked, okay? Because that's not good football in 8th or 9th. You know, you've seen the performances. You know what I'm on about. I'm not trying to, denigrate Unai here, but when you watch tonight's performance, when you watch the Huddersfield performance, we've got a better squad than that. I think he should be getting a bit more of the team. But as you guys have pointed out, we're 1 point off 4th, but we've got to finish the end of the season in 4th or higher.
Or so if, as you say, he's not getting out the most he can from the team, well, if this is him not getting a lot out of the team and we're putting in a serious good number of points and we're doing better than we were last season, and that's fair play to him. I would happily throw my hands up in the air and say, you know what, if you can continue this momentum and then shift the style of football for it then to be better and more aesthetically pleasing, great. Because as much as we love good football, we love winning football more.
I think that's a fair argument, mate. I think, it's a fair argument. I think I just look at it at the moment and I'm a bit concerned. You look at the situation with Ozil, Ramsey going, there's a few things happening where it leaves me feeling really uncomfortable. Okay. And it's just it's a personal point of view. I don't think it's right or wrong. I just think it's my opinion at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So through injury or conspiracy theories, Ozil has now played less games for Arsenal, or fewer than half of the games for us this season. So we can't pin down the fact that we're doing not our performances, but our points tally is down to the good play of Mesut Ozil. We're doing it without him in that respect. And similar to Aaron Ramsey as well. I know he's played probably 2/3 of that. And he has won us points. There's no doubt in that. You can't take that away. His performances against Spurs, for example, that's 3 points that Aaron Ramsey's won us there. But he has shown that without the 2 key players, or players that we would say 2 absolutely key players under Wenger, we're still getting points on the board, and we're still progressing in cup competitions.
Well, we're in one cup.
One.
You know, let's be honest. Okay, last season, if you compare and contrast against last season, it's a little bit difficult because that was Arsene's worst season ever. Right? You know, home form sensational, away form absolutely tragic, horrendous. You know, I look at it, that 22-game unbeaten run he had was magic, and he deserves great credit for that, and it shouldn't be forgotten. But losing away to West Ham, losing away to Southampton, the Brighton game, you know, all these things kind of pile up as well. It does take time for him, and, you know, we will wait and see where we finish at the end of the season. At this moment in time, nothing is won, nothing is lost, is it? You know,
Nice.
so... Yeah.
Can I just say, if anyone's watching on the YouTube, I wasn't taking a selfie. I could hear I just fed my cats. And I was using the camera on my phone to see behind me, and Lily's on the floor and she's not being sick. I wasn't taking a selfie. For fuck's sake, I'm not 14. Thomas was accusing me.
Thomas from Norway, how dare you? How dare you? Hey, guys, we got 140 likes there, and there's 310 of you watching. Come on, tappy, be like Batty. You know, smack that like button. Let's go. Come on.
Is that Nora Batty?
Nora Batty. I thought I was a bit lyrical there. Tappy, be like Batty.
I thought you were off to a Del Piero Wonderland. How's that going? Now that you're a Juventus fan.
We're gonna do it in conjunction with ABW Live, and it's gonna be a spin-off show. Myself, John, and Dom are currently buying Juventus tops, but you know, actually,
I was going to say, can you confirm reports that you've been spotted outside a cafe eating ice cream al fresco with a copy of the Daily Mail?
Oh.
Well, we are. Look, Craig. This is why Craig does podcasts. He's put losing to West Ham away and Southampton, etc., and not new results. We do this every year. Good point.
Not Southampton, not West Ham, but Southampton. Yes.
New Year's Day. I mean, there's a couple of times we lost away at West Ham. Usually, Andy Carroll, when he plays, we're knackered.
We haven't lost away at West Ham for a long time, at least, for a few years. Formerly known as. Correct. I will be supporting Juventus. As of next season, I will officially have a foreign team.
Well, isn't Arsenal a foreign team because they're English?
Well, I've always said that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
One.
I will have a second team.
Oh, good.
There's a question in there about women on the show. We are having somebody on soon. I've got to ask her.
About what on the show?
On this show. A
woman on the show. Women?
A woman on, yeah.
If there's anyone to come on, you're more than welcome.
Database LBC. Oh, if I got that right. Data KLBC. She's putting her hands up there. Speak to Danny. Danny have a chat with you.
Well, we're friends with quite a few Arsenal supporting women. I mean, we've asked them to come on, but social media like this and live shows, women will. If you see a woman on here doing a live show, they're going to get grief, and women know they're going to get grief. No, in general, not from this one, but in general, it's nowadays keyboard warriors are arseholes to women, and they don't really want to come on any kind of live show and get grief. And I think that's what puts so many of them off. Like we've had Sadia on a couple of times, and she would get grief saying, "Oh, women don't like some of the Americans do." People say, "Oh, they don't know anything about football." People can't be bothered with that grief. But we've got lots of people that we've asked that have said they'd like to come on. We've had some on quite a few before.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask Lana on soon. Lana's a good crack, so we'll have a chat.
Like John has just put Kelly. We'd love Kelly to come on. Pete Saguna, I'd love her to come on. Amanda, she said she'd come on. We've had Sophie Nicolau. She's been on, and we've had Amy Lawrence. She's been on quite a few times. But it's if they want to, they do. We definitely don't say no women.
Who's Amanda?
There's only one Arsenal supporting Amanda, you tit. The Amanda.
Oh, I have no fucking idea. Right, let's get on with it. In any case, okay? Yes, Craig, you are correct. Sadia knows more than most blokes, to be fair.
Exactly.
She's great, Sadia is. Right, questions. Okay, we're stopping being a feminista Wonderland at the moment, and we're back to being a Bergkamp Wonderland. Josh, this one's for you. The Carl's Mount, that's Khal, asks, how can people still defend Iwobi? I think that's a bit strong. What are your thoughts?
Oh, you've asked the right person on that one, haven't you?
Saved it for you, fella. Saved it for you.
Cheers, mate. I'll polish this one up. How can people still defend Iwobi? Well, it's quite simple, to be honest, because we're only going through the left-hand side of the pitch. So who's the creative man on that side? It's Iwobi. So he's passing it to Kolasinac, who's then putting it in the middle and screwing it up. Iwobi is our man. He is our greatest number 10 since Dennis Bergkamp. Full stop. End of show. Let's continue.
Look, I asked you to answer it, not take the piss.
No, so yeah, seriously, I think, let's put it this way. I'm probably one of the biggest Iwobi supporters, certainly on the pod.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't be our primary creative player. That's not saying he's rubbish, because, there's people in the box that are saying, Guendouzi, young player. Iwobi's only 3 years older than Guendouzi. This isn't a 27-year-old player of the year in his country for the past 11 years who's playing on the right-hand side, who's played in big games for Borussia Dortmund, played for Man United. This is a young, homegrown talent, by the way, which you're giving absolute pelters to. Because I saw this during the week. We're doing exactly the same to Maitland-Niles. And people wonder why. So Iwobi and Maitland-Niles, both born stone's throw away, or grew up stone's throw away from the Emirates Stadium, from Arsenal. And we're saying that we don't have players that we can support because we have no homegrown talent. 2 of them started tonight, both of them. You've got homegrown players coming through and you're not supporting them. Yet you'll go to someone like Guendouzi and say, oh yeah, but he's raw. Iwobi's still raw. He's, as I say, he's still a young player. He's only just gone from being in the under 21, so it didn't cost us anything in terms of squad size. Now he's 22. He's getting international football. He was at the World Cup. We can't say that about a lot of our players. Not many players.
Imagine if Iwobi was playing for like Southampton or West Ham. We'd be going, God, he should snap him up. Homegrown player. He's brilliant. And Maitland-Niles, another brilliant player. People need to shut up.
I think we need to have a look at strongly what the word supporter means, because some of our fans don't necessarily look at our team. I know we say things about it, but there are people who just only say negatives about our players and never have a positive word to say for them.
Yeah,
think he's one of those players that gets pelters.
I do think it's over the top of him, okay? I think there's no problem with, criticising the performance or whatever, but to be fair, I don't think Iwobi played well tonight, but I don't think anybody played well tonight. Do you know what I mean?
If we're looking at him as a young player, which he is, you said earlier in the show, Guendouzi, Danny said it as well, Guendouzi, his performance didn't matter because he's a young player and he's raw.
Nobody says it didn't matter, but you
Danny did.
Expect it.
Danny did. Danny literally said it didn't matter as a performance.
Apologies, I missed that.
We're wiping the slate clean for that one. It didn't matter because he's a young player. We're going to have the same. He's going to blow hot and cold. Same with Mesut Ozil, blows hot and cold. Again, we're looking at players on different levels of where they are.
I think as well, one of the things that I can understand, it will be frustrating people. He frustrates me. But we've got to look at the good that he brings to the game as well. You can't just hammer him with the bad. I wish he'd mix his game up a little bit, play an early ball now and again to take the pressure off himself. But, he's in a learning process, and this is his best season ever. So, give him a big credit. Right, shout out. Petito 100 smashes in with a donation.
Petito!
And there's a question there, Petito, which I'll ask in the questions now, but thank you very much, mate. You're an absolute rock star. Dan. Oh, by the way, Josh, well answered. I like that. Dan, Unique79 says, Why do we always shoot ourselves in the foot every season?
Oh dear. I think it's just a lot of things go wrong. Players don't play to their utmost every single game. Lots of them have personal issues. A lot of them, like Lacazette in his first season with us, he was carrying an injury, carried us all the way through till Christmas when we bought Aubameyang, and then he went off and had his operation, and then we only found out afterwards people giving him grief and telling him he was rubbish while he was carrying the team and had an injury. And there's so many different things. I mean, you wake up every day. People feel different every day. They could be feeling personal stuff, which I was saying to my mum, was talking to my mum about Ozil and saying how much money he's on. And I said, I think it's going to come out in maybe years to come that he's got maybe mental health issues, because people have been saying that in articles. I don't know him, but people have been questioning maybe it could be something like that, because he does seem like quite a fragile person. I mean, because he's won the World Cup and all these other things. You don't know what's going on inside people's heads. So I know I like to wind up the Ozilistas, but nothing I'd like more than to see Ozil come back and play how we all know he can do. But it's just so many little things going wrong, and it seems that we take one step forward, we'll get like Kos coming back, and then Socrates is out for a month, and then we get another young player coming through, and then like we did with Smith, not hyphen Rowe. He started playing really well, and then he got an injury, and then I didn't even know what was going on with him because most of the injury science weren't mentioning it. And then you get bad luck, and then you get bits of bad form, and it's a rebuilding process. And he's taken over a squad that some of the players he doesn't want. And sadly for me, two of the players that he doesn't want are two of undoubtedly the most skillful players at the club, being Ramsey and Ozil. And all these things, then if you're mates with Ramsey and Ozil at the club, and everyone knows what great players are, and they're not playing, that could have an effect on how you play from day to day. We don't know all the stuff that goes on. And people who know me on Twitter know I say a lot of stuff tongue-in-cheek just to annoy people, but I've got no idea what's going on. But sometimes it is going to get better. If we can do that 22-game unbeaten run and 1 point away from top four, things aren't all that bad. We're just, as Arsenal fans, we've been spoilt over the years, and we've had Champions League football without even having to worry about it. But then you look at this, the last couple of seasons with Liverpool coming back into it. Luckily, Chelsea are having a bit of a downtime, so that may be our way to get into the top four. But Man United, look at the difference it's made with Man United with all those players. Pogba, 9 games before this one just gone by. 9 games, 8 goals, 6 assists. He hasn't done that in the entire time that he's had when he had Mourinho there. So there's so many intricate little factors that can disrupt a player or a tactics or a formation, and then the teams you're playing against. It could be the weather. It could be what you've had for dinner. You could have had an argument with your missus. It's could be any of that stuff. I don't know. So as an Arsenal fan, I just go, we lost. Oh, well, next game.
So that took 15 minutes and 36 to say.
I don't know. I'll do that again. I don't know, Jace.
Okay. Well answered, Dan. Well answered. Josh, Unique 79 asks again, I want to come back to this. Why do we waste so many set pieces?
I don't know why we waste them. I can't answer that. I have no idea why we don't. We should maybe, we're going to have to start thinking creatively. Like Mustafi's going to have to go on Koscielny's shoulders for a chance for us to win a header. We go into the box.
Yeah. And then they tried that on the weekend on Lacazette and got slated for it. I'm not having that again.
Okay, fine. We should execute it better. Like, at least I'm thinking creatively for once. I don't know if it's the delivery.
The delivery tonight. The delivery tonight was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah, but see,
but as we said from the first, from their goal, the delivery wasn't great either. But if you don't mark your man, you're going to get a free header.
So shouldn't we be a little bit more balanced at times as Arsenal fans and go, why are we so bad from set pieces? But balance that out. Why are we so good at defending from set pieces? We haven't conceded a goal apart from tonight's one. I think that's the first one we've conceded.
I think that might be the second now.
I can think of a couple now.
I think even if it's 2 or 3, it's still good going, however many games we are into the season.
But we won't think about it, because as Arsenal fans, we won't say that. We'll just go, we're terrible at taking set pieces, and we won't go, well, actually, we've improved our defending from set pieces really well up until the last couple of games.
I don't think corners aren't great scoring opportunities generally, to be honest. It's one of those, it's not just an Arsenal fact, but you are more likely to concede from a corner than you are to score from one in terms of an attacking corner because of that whole counter-attack system and how that works. Stupid, XG and all that. But
Yeah.
it's just a difficult kind of thing. Of, as you say, it doesn't even look like there's that's a promising ball that's gone in there. Whether or not it's because we've now gone away from the fact that we used to have a striker that was dominant in the air. And we sold him.
Yeah.
You know, Welbeck isn't in the side either. Welbeck is good in the air. Aubameyang, you're not expecting him to win headers, and the same with Lacazette. So you're then looking at your centre-backs, aren't you?
I mean, look how much grief Welbeck gets. But now look how much we'd be a better team if we had him fit at the moment. People don't think about some people don't think about that. That he's a really good player. I mean, he's an England international, scores lots of goals. He's another option with his ability to play deep or play wide or play as a striker. So when he comes back, people will go, "Oh, look at him! He's not scoring 30 goals a season. Can't win."
It's difficult, isn't it? Dan, question for you. Ben Murphy asks, what do you guys think is our best formation with the players we have in the squad? We've gone from 20 plus games unbeaten to very much hit and miss recently.
What you mean with a completely fully fit squad?
No, well, it doesn't really matter. What do you think is our best formation?
I liked Emery at first because I thought he was adapting the formation for whoever we were playing. Now, Drew is the kind of person who is a tactical expert on what we should do like that. I think we need to change it from game to game, but you need to have your spine that you rely on. So it's going to be Leno in goal, Bella in right back, Monreal left back, personally, Socrates and Koscielny at centre back, central midfield, Torreira defending the back two, and then Xhaka ahead of him, and then personally Ramsey or Ozil playing ahead of those two. And then out wide, you're going to have Mkhitaryan one side, probably Aubameyang the other, with Lacazette up front. Some combination of all of that. All of our best players get to play games. But then when Rob Holding's back, you can have to drop one of those other two. But I don't like playing three centre backs. That's the main thing.
So 4 at the back, 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well answered, Dan. Well answered.
And short and to the point.
And coherent.
No.
Actually coherent. I'm really impressed.
And then Guendouzi wouldn't be knackered and have to retire by the age of 22 because he's played more games this season than any of our other bloody players, I think, him and Torreira.
Aubameyang's got a few as well, hasn't he? That's his first Premier League game and he missed on the weekend. Josh, Payush Kapoor asks, when Emery interviewed for the job, do you think he mentioned to the board or interview panel that Ozil would not be in his future plans, knowing that Ozil had signed the 350k a week contract? He asks this because at the time of the press conference, Gazidis mentioned they were impressed with Emery's analysis of all the players. Surely Emery would have had a plan for Mesut.
Yeah, I'd agree that I think he did have a plan. I don't think his plan was necessarily how we're seeing it play out. But it's one of those that, you know, you can study things, you can write it all in dossiers, but actually then going to use it is a different matter from that point of view. I suppose the best way is kind of like researching how to build a car and then trying to drive it. You know, I could put a car together, but I couldn't necessarily know how to get the best out of it in terms of performance. And I think that's what we're seeing.
Haven't you?
I do have a Ferrari.
Oi, same company. Don't diss him.
Same company. Don't matter. All comes out of the same factory.
That's it. All made from the same bits.
Yep. Hey, those bolts, they're not any different. They're exactly the same.
All from the same parts bin.
Yep. Steel is steel. Oil is oil. It's all the same.
Dear listeners, I am sorry. I thought I spoke some bollocks, but these two are taking it to a new level tonight. Sorry, Josh, carry on.
Sorry, listeners. No, they missed us pre-pod. The downside of the live show is that all the bits that you'd normally get at the end of the podcast, you just don't get to see because we don't record it. It's probably for the best. But yeah, and I'd say it's one thing knowing and researching a subject, especially with something like a player, and then trying to get the best out of it yourself. Now, is a failing of Emery or is that a failing of Ozil? I think that's the key question. Part of me would be inclined to say you've got a new manager coming in and you want to play football, you adapt to make sure you're still playing football. You don't sulk. You don't throw your toys out the pram. You do almost as you're told, so to speak. And it's a difficult one because I don't want to throw any assumptions at either the manager or the player, because we don't know what the situation is. But at least that's where I think the cause is, that Emery would have had a plan for Ozil, but it's just not. I don't think he's inherited the player he researched, should we say.
Well, the player, Jace, wouldn't you agree that the player that we signed from Real Madrid and we had for the first 2 seasons is not the Ozil that we've got now? For whatever reason that is.
Look, I'm not sure, okay? I akin to what Josh has just said, I'm not really sure what's going on. If you look back to that Leicester game, I thought Ozil, was 60 minutes, was sensational. As good a game as I've ever seen him play. I thought the Liverpool game coming after that, he was very good. He wasn't epic, but he was good, okay? And then it kind of falls off a cliff. The formation we're playing at the moment doesn't use a 10. So, where do you play him? You have to play him on the wings. Is it 6 of one, half a dozen the other? What's gone on behind closed doors? We just don't know. We kind of know Mesut's an introvert. We know sort of Unai's kind of straight to the point. Is there a clash of personalities? I don't see. I mean, Josh answered this the other day very well when he said he knows the player. But if you're bringing Dennis Suarez in, who's a creative player who doesn't like tracking back, well, you've already got Mesut Ozil there. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand what's going on at the moment. But we'll see how this plays out come the summer now. Good answer. Right. Danny, K-Man 1867 asks, pardon me, if Arsenal only invest £45 million in summer transfers, is there really any hope of challenging for the league title in the near future?
I don't believe that for a second that it's 45 million. Plus, if you listen to not the last pod, but the one before that with our very own Steve Lord-Hillwood, who's a financial expert, along with Mr. Fife, they both know their onions when it comes to that lot. He is saying you take off all the money that Ramsey's earning, you take off all the money that Cech is earning, blah, 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 all the players that are leaving. That's going to free up more money. There's going to be players that are going to leave the club, whether it be on loan, freeing up the wages, or whether they're going to be sold. So, and plus that doesn't take into account whether we win the Europa League, that's more money. If we win the Europa League or in the Champions League, then that's more money that you can allocate, because then your income is going to be more, and then you can spend more on wages and players. So I would just get that 45 million, write down on a piece of paper and stick it up your bum, because it's meaningless.
Well, Ornstein said, I mean, the thing with, okay, freeing up...
Our Ornstein or the Ornstein?
Bear me a second, before I get to him, sorry. Those players are going to have to be replaced. I know we haven't played much of Aaron this season or much of Mesut or whatever. They're going to have to be replaced, and those players will want wages coming in. So there's a balancing act there. But Ornstein said on our blog, it's closer to 70 to 100 million they'll have available to spend. And even then, it's going to be a tough ask in the near future to challenge for the title, isn't it?
Unless we get regular Champions League football, get a handle on the wages, because I think we're never going to have a player at Arsenal that is going to earn the kind of money that Ozil is earning. I think maybe they'll be on 100, 150. Then that'd be for the very best players, but we're not the kind of club that can afford to do that. But when the club have gone, we've got Sanchez and Ozil, our 2 biggest stars, and one of them's leaving, we've got to do whatever we can to keep the other one at the club. So.
But Dan, if you're not going to pay the wages, the market dictates you're not going to get the best players. It's as simple as that.
No one's going to play for us because they love us.
Exactly. Josh, Unique 79 asks, what do we do with Ozil? Ooh.
Give him a hug.
I'd give him a... Yeah.
I think he's getting a special hug tonight from his Instagram.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hand shandy.
He's Muslim, isn't he? He doesn't drink.
Hand shandy.
Sorry.
Doesn't do that either. He's a good boy. How dare you?
Yeah, that's what he's got his missus for. I don't know at the moment. If we're not going to use him, well, let's bring this stupid again. Gunnosaurus double team. Do that. Not double team.
He can come on here if he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
We'll be nice to him. We'll tickle him under the chin.
He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that.
Sorry.
No, it's true.
Right. Last question, right, from Petito 100. I'm going to answer this. Petito.
Potato.
Oh, fuck. Why
You
do I
say
bother?
potato, we say potato.
Why do I bother?
Shall I
And
ask you this question, Jay, so you can answer the last question?
Do you want to grab Blair's donation as well, or did you miss that?
Yeah, I'm in the Google Hangouts. Go on, who's it?
Blair Slater.
Oh.
Blair Slater. Oh, he's
Blair
smashing it. Again.
Slater. Blair Slater.
And what does
No
Blair?
message again. Blair
No
doesn't do messages, does he?
No,
Blair,
he just said Slater out because
hey, Blair Slater's mysterious.
He throws
yeah.
money at us like we're a bunch of three dirty strippers. He looks at us with disdain, throws money, and then leaves.
sticks his aviators on, lights a cigar, and moses on out of there.
I think Blair Slater may be a millionaire international Playboy detective
Like,
in the mold of Magnum PI. That's just the vibe I get of Blair Slater. That's the
Jay,
vibe I get.
should I ask you the last question because it's got your favourite wheelchair, and then you can end the show by answering the last question?
Go on, then, let's go.
From Petito 100, he says, "What is the difference between Ozil and Wilshere? Both missed games, so they are being moved out. Why is moving Ozil out a crime?"
I don't think it is a crime. I think it's just a really difficult situation. I think the crime is not using him while we've got him. Okay, but if Unai gets either top 4 or wins the Europa League without using him, then no harm done, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's fine. He comes out a winner. But moving him on is going to be a difficulty because of his wage requirements. And that is difficult. Who's going to pay him that? The Italian clubs aren't. I can't see many British clubs wanting him. I can't see Real wanting him, and I can't see Barca wanting him. So, you know, his wage demands, and and where's he going to go? Who's going to come in for him? So the amount of money you're going to get from him it's going to be next to nothing. That's the truth of the matter. But it's not a crime, and sometimes it's better to get gone. It really is. It'd be a shame, though. It would be a really, really shame. Right. That's it for tonight. Our thanks, first of all, to Clayton Maddox, Unique 79, Yvonne Okofor, Michael Harneman, Jamie Fitzgerald, Sam Ruth, Jackosaurus, Petito 100, and Blair Slater, International Man of Mystery. Thank you for your donations. You've been superb. To the chat box. The chat box has been absolutely magic tonight. It's been funny. It's been... Okay, we got a couple of idiots in there, but they're gone now. They're gone. Well done, chat box. You've been magic. You've been like BATE Borisov. Not like the Arsenal tonight. You've been like BATE. Keep on tapping that like button, my lovelies. It would be nice to see it go bump, bump, bump.
Give it a little stroke.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry.
On tonight of all nights.
Oh,
Love.
To everyone listening on other platforms such as iTunes or Stitcher, thank you ever so much. We really appreciate the support. A happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you. At least BATE fans are happy somewhere. Né? Well, what the hell? What the hell? And my thanks to you, Daniel.
Cheers, John.
Pleasure, Brett. And my thanks to you, Josh.
Thank you. Same time next week, right?
Same time next week. It may be me. It may be John joining you two guys. Or it may just be you two. Yeah. Who's on the podcast next week, Dan?
Jeff said he will be back. He won't be on this week, but he had other stuff and he forgot to tell me. Other than that, I don't really know at the moment, but we have a new way of doing it. And just to let people... Yeah, we now record it on Google. We do it like this, but it's not live, and then I go and edit it after. And to give you wonderful people some idea of what a potty mouth Jace has, it was banned from having any kind of monetization, even after one view, and it was locked because Jason was swearing all the way through the stuff before we actually started recording. That is indeed a feat. You had one view, and you got it banned, Jace. Well done.
That's the type of guy I am. That's how I roll. I blame Franz John Smith Jones, or whatever his name is.
That person was nice after.
Better be coming in here, giving it large. Yeah, look, guys, thank you so much for the support. You're superb.
Cheers, everyone.
Disappointing night, but there you go. Danny mentioned earlier on mental ozone and mental health issues. If anybody out there listening or anybody in the chat box, if you do feel down, if you are suffering from mental health issues, speak to somebody. Don't hide it away. Problem shared is a problem halved. Do not be the person who sort of hides away and lets it get on top of you. Be brave. Go speak to somebody. Speak to your doctor. Speak to your family. If you want to speak to one of us idiots, to be fair to these plonkers and ABW, each and every one of them will reply and we'll try to help. We're not healthcare professionals, but at least you can get things off your chest. Do not hide away. Face up to it. And that goes for health all round, okay? Whether you're male or female, it doesn't really matter. Be good to yourselves, people, please. It's Valentine's Day. We're sharing the love. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your support. Take care. Good night. Daniel, switch this shit off.
Nanu.